on, dig into that soul, Chris. Come on, show the motherfuckers that you want this fight now. Show these motherfuckers that you get it. Dig. There we go. There we go. There we go. Make some combinations fast. Come on. Trust in your speed, son.
He got that killer instinct. He know what it takes to get it done.
4 minutes.
That's why it's easy training with him, because he trains so hard.
In terms of my training in my camp, I love combat. I love testing myself.
What's the word, Chris?
Did some cardio earlier.
No, Wednesday we got 12 rounds. 12 3-minute rounds.
Inside the training camp, the atmosphere is electric as Chris Eubank Jr. sharpens his edge under the watchful eye of his legendary father, Chris Eubank Sr. With the long-awaited Benn rematch approaching, the father-son duo is blending old-school grit with modern precision. Eubank Sr.'s trademark discipline, mindset, and toughness are molding Jr.'s preparation, turning this camp into a masterclass built on legacy, pressure, and redemption.
This is my first full camp in Dubai. I've actually, I've wanted to train out here more consistently for a long time. It's the perfect environment. The gyms are amazing, the nutrition, the food, the sun. As long as you don't get distracted with all the distractions of Dubai, I think it's an amazing place to kind of focus and hone your skills in the fight world.
See it. No, no.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Work the roll.
As the rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn draws closer, the intensity inside Eubank's camp continues to rise. Their first showdown at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in April 2025 ended with Eubank Jr. securing a unanimous decision after a bruising 12-round battle that left both men tested and transformed.
Time to get into this fight and find his range, but find his range he did. They just exchanged the rounds one by one. Eventually Conor Benn looked like he was slowing down, but he found a second wind and managed to take it back to Chris Eubank Jr., particularly just with really aggressive punches. Chris Eubank Jr. working the body, Conor Benn trying to find that knockout punch. It was chaotic, a barrage from both fighters in those final few rounds, and so hard to call. On the fan scorecards, it was level, 114 to 114, and no one could separate these two. But you heard it there, Chris Eubank Jr. wins, and not only does that on unanimous decision, but does it to inflict Conor Benn's first ever.
CompuBox data revealed the scale of the war. Eubank Jr. landed 367 of 912 punches, while Benn connected with 215 of 593. Despite being older and physically more worn, Eubank Jr. prevailed, but the extreme weight cut and dehydration surrounding the fight raised serious concerns. He missed weight by 0.05 pounds, was fined, and later hospitalized as a precaution. Now entering the rematch as the favorite, he's determined to shut the rivalry down decisively. Meanwhile, his father remains both supportive and cautious, warning against repeating the same dangerous conditions.
Drained, they put a rehydration clause in. They fined him some £500,000 for coming in, 2 ounces over the weight. It was reported to me by Lawrence Lustig, who is a very famous photographer. Junior wasn't even sweating at the end of the fight. Dehydration. These rules are in place to save my son, to save the lives of fighters. Unfortunately, the reporters, the journalists are not doing their job. They're not holding them to account. Gareth Davis, do your job. Simon Jordan, you speak on boxing, do your job. You are not credible if you let these things happen. What you are is a jester. As I said after the fight, Conor Benn is an extraordinary fighter. Fighting at 156 or fighting a fighter at 160, he doesn't get back down to 147. And if he does, he's not the fighter he could have been. They are dangerous, they are reckless. If the Boxing Board of Control don't do what they're supposed to do, which is to block fights from happening which do not abide by the weights and the rules, you are baboons. I'm not a baboon, and I know this life. I've gone up to cruiserweight, fighting Carl Thompson. Watch that fight. Both of them, where you're watching one man who is almost twice the size of me. So it seems, I say this sparingly, seemingly killing me. And it looks like a fight because the smaller guy, me, has heart. And nothing is going to stop me. No threat. Nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to put a picture up of my eye. It looked like my eye was pregnant, giving birth. That's these promoters pulling me into a fight that I need for the money. So I say, no, I'll do it. But the Boxing Board of Control is not supposed to allow that to happen. So now when I speak on it for my own son, people say, oh, well, you know, he's overreacting. I'm not.
Inside Eubank Jr.'s training camp, the mood is focused, sharpened, and methodical ahead of the Benn rematch. Recent sessions have zeroed in on correcting the mistakes from their first encounter. Eubank Jr. acknowledged that his previous win relied heavily on willpower and experience, and this time, he intends to turn that edge into a far more commanding performance.
What that session involved and the benefits for him.
We call that the Xbox, 6 different stations. You got 3 coaches, you got 3 different obstacles to push you as far as your power shots, your speed, your slipping, your rhythm, your sprints, your endurance on throwing your power shots and stepping over. So we usually do that once a week to push the fighter, and then every week we go up.
Pick it up, pick it up. Keep pushing. Push. More. There you go. Almost there. Come on, let's go. Come on, Chris. Give it up. Come on. Go. Come on, keep it up.
Training out of Dubai, Eubank Jr. has isolated himself from distractions, diving into long sparring rounds and intense conditioning. He confirmed that while his father will be ringside as emotional support, he remains active in guiding elements of the training. His sparring partners revealed that Eubank regularly pushes through 4-minute rounds with only 30-second breaks, a grueling regimen designed to elevate endurance and refine tactical composure under fatigue.
First full camp in Dubai. I've wanted to train out here more consistently for a long time. It's the perfect environment. The gyms are amazing, the nutrition, the food, the sun. As long as you don't get distracted with all the distractions of Dubai, I think it's an amazing place to kind of focus.
Eubank Jr. has reunited with veteran coach Brian "Bo-Mac" McIntyre, who famously guided Terence Crawford to undisputed glory. The partnership signals that Eubank isn't content with merely repeating his first victory, he intends to dominate the rematch. McIntyre stated confidently, he already has his number. He praised Eubank Jr.'s intensity and commitment, noting that this camp reflects total focus unlike anything seen in previous preparations.
Grinding, to the next fighter.
Did you get to make it back over for the victory parade?
Yes,
or?
Definitely we had to come back for the parade. That was beautiful what the city did for Bud.
How was that? Yeah, because we've even seen other fights before where there's been a great turnout, but this looked like a whole new level, and so right, it should have been.
I can imagine probably close to 1 million people there, I would think. Man, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Crawford's obviously enjoying some well-deserved time off, but has he spoken to you any more about what kind of next steps would be for him, what he wants?
No, not yet. We talked a little bit yesterday, but we didn't discuss anything about boxing. So we're just making sure, I was checking with him, making sure the gym was going good, the kids was getting a good workout, and we're putting on another show for our up-and-coming fighters. So, he's working on that, and while I'm working with Chris.
Working with Chris, exactly. You are back working with Chris Eubank Jr. You're with him for the rematch against Liam Smith. How did it come about, you coming back into camp with him for this one?
Well, while we was finishing up with Crawford, Chris's guys, they hit me up maybe a month out and asked me would I be, interested. I told them, of course, right away, because I felt like that me and Chris got a good repertoire together, and we got a good relationship, and we come out with good.
The rivalry's roots stretch back to the early 1990s, when Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn produced one of British boxing's most iconic eras. Their first clash in November 1990 was a high-stakes thriller, with Eubank weathering Benn's ferocious start before stopping him in round 9 to claim the WBO middleweight title. The modern-day clash between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. drew comparisons to Pacquiao vs. De La Hoya in 2008, where Pacquiao moved up in weight to dismantle a naturally bigger opponent. Similarly, Benn, stepping up 2 weight classes, earned respect with his resilience and power against the naturally larger Eubank Jr.
Bag on Conor Benn, and here's why. I believe we've seen this type of fight before. The similarities are unreal. 2008. A 29-year-old Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao faced a 35-year-old Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya was the favorite in that fight against Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao because not only was Oscar De La Hoya an experienced and fantastic fighter, he was just naturally the bigger man, and they thought Manny Pacquiao was insane. Chris Eubank Jr., as the bigger man and skilled fighter, people are seeing him as the favorite. And me too, I am predicting a Chris Eubank Jr. win. But where I'm going to put my money is going to be on Conor Benn because of the history, the similarities of what we saw in 2008 with Manny Pacquiao.
Clark weighed in on the brutal Eubank-Benn battle, stating that the right man won. He praised the heart, discipline, and grit displayed by both fighters, noting how clashes of this caliber elevate British boxing. Despite earlier objections, Eubank Sr. made a dramatic appearance on fight night, arriving midway through the undercard and sending a surge of energy through the 65,000-strong crowd. Nigel Benn welcomed his presence, calling it a positive moment for both families.
Here as well, sir, you turned up to support your son. What a night.
Well, you know, I was always going to be here for my son, irrespective of what you thought. I mean, it's a show. So suspense is part of the game. Now, the performance, championship rounds, standing toe-to-toe, the credit I'm going to give to Conor. I told you he was a superior fighter, but he shouldn't be fighting at 160 or 156. He's a 147 fighter. What couldn't he do around the world? He's been destroyed by the people who are handling him, and they have to be brought to account. Do your job. Do your job. Do your job.
It's great to see.
Chris Eubank Sr. later warned that his son had been misled into a deal crafted by promoters more concerned with profit than fighter health. He argued that forcing a strict 160 pounds limit and a harsh rehydration cap deliberately left his son drained and vulnerable. In his view, the terms weren't designed for fairness or safety. They were designed to maximize spectacle, revenue, and controversy at the expense of his son's well-being.
He lost. What couldn't he do at his proper weight, fighting a man of his size? Let me tell you what Junior did. He took away all the sweeties from everyone. They fined him, they blocked him on rehydration, they tricked him on weight. Once you're bringing him down to 160, he's 35 years old. He's a man, he's a big man. He'll do it because he's a warrior, but he shouldn't do it. But he's not going to listen to anyone. If he's not going to listen to me, he's not going to listen to anybody else. So the rematch is, Junior, you have everything, you're rich. You know, those promoters, they hate you because they can never get close to anything that you do. The analogy I will use, they're looking at you like you're a rocket, you've taken off, all the fuel burners and tanks have fallen back to Earth, and you are now in space. They don't have the oxygen to be in the world you live in. They would do anything to be able to live at that.
Weight dynamics played a major role in their April 26, 2025 fight. Eubank Jr., a natural middleweight who typically competes between 160 and 168 pounds, had to cut dangerously low. Benn, a lifelong welterweight at 147 pounds, had to bulk up dramatically. The 156 pounds catchweight attempted to bridge the gap, but both fighters entered unfamiliar territory. For Eubank Jr., the drain was physical. For Benn, the challenge was maintaining speed and power as he carried additional weight.
Chris is even 70% of what he was. He's far too big for Benn. If he is really gone and shot, then yeah, he has a very good chance because, you know, he's the guy that can eat comfortably. You know, he doesn't have to pull himself down to make weight. You know, I look at it the same as I look at the, you know, obviously Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight. You know, a lot of people just don't understand. You know, one guy planned not to make weight and one guy was actually working hard to make the weight. It's not a fair fight. And that's without even talking about, you know, the accusations about with the PEDs.
Oh mate, that'd be legendary. You know, that'd be legendary. I'd love that.
We know that your dad has had two very, very famous fights in the 90s with Chris Sr. You're, what, 3 or 4 weight divisions away from Chris Eubank Jr. at the moment, but you are 19 and you will continue to grow and you will continue to put weight on. What chance of you fighting Chris Eubank Jr. at some point in the future?
Oh, mate, that'd be legendary. You know, that'd be legendary. I'd love that. I'd love that. You could, you know, but there's so many obstacles I've got to get first before we can even consider that. Yeah. So far, it's just a fantasy for the British public. You know, but who knows?